In this video, I will show you how to use alerts. Alerts are objects which are of different kinds. For example, there is error alert or warning alert, event information alert, or confirmation alert. Those objects work for telling the user something important. For example, if I need to register a new item on my record table and the user doesn't provide a mandatory field, the registration cannot be executed, cannot be done because of that. So how the user can know about the missing information or the possible error? So by adding alert to the user interface is a good option to manage that situations. So here in the last code, the add weapon button was programmed, and the next step was to show a formulary which received the all the information needed to add a new item to a record table. And in the code was introduced a condition, an if condition, which validates that none of these three text boxes was not empty, were not empty. So weapon, country, and price will be mandatory, and if I confirm registration without entering information here, or even if I put information here and here information but country is empty, and I click on confirmation registration button, it doesn't happen anything because this condition is preventing from creating an object without the necessary information. So this is the first barrier to contain the error or the situation. So there are or well said, there is a way to handle that situation by using alerts. So what if I click here, confirm registration, and the user currently doesn't know what is happening? Why I'm clicking this button and doesn't happen anything? So as a user, I don't know what's happening, what's my error. So the program needs to emit an alert to inform the user so the user can know the error and correct it. So that's the goal for this video, how to emit alerts. So here, when the if condition is accomplished, this logic executes, But what if the if condition is not happening? So the else case will execute the alert code. So for example, here, alert, here I'm creating an alert object. So there are kinds of alert, as I said before. So what kind of alert there are? So here we can see in a list of options from alert, alert of type confirmation, alert of error, alert of information, alert, empty alert, and alert of warning. So there are five kinds of alert depending of the context. I'll be using one or another alert. And here, for example, when I run the code here, I need to inform the user there is a field missing or the three of them missing. So registration cannot be done because of that. So that's needed to I need to tell the user by a message of information. So here the alert needs to be alert of that information. So once I created my alert object, I need to set a title of the error. So I'll tell the user pay attention and I need to provide um, a header text which tells briefly to the user what's happening. So the main reason for this alert is for missing information. So I'll tell the user missing information and finally I provide a content text from the alert and I'll tell the user please fill all the fields. So the last thing I need to do is to show the user the alert and let's see what happens when I click add weapon and confirm registration without providing any information here. So my alert is displaying successfully and the user now what's the error, what's happening really. So when the user clicks OK, the flow it's over the formulary again and the user has another chance to try to register a new weapon and insert that into the record table. So if the user does the same thing as before, the same error, the same alert will be displayed and the loop will be running again and again while the user don't provide all the three mandatory fields. So what if I put here information, for example, and I don't provide a price and confirm registration button, the same. What if I provide just one of the three items, the three text boxes, the same will happen. What if I provide a price and the country, for example, USA, and confirm, the the other will be showed. So here my level of security for saying it's it's making that the program gets the parameters needed to construct the object necessary and display the information correctly. So this is why alerts are very important, and checking information when your program is running is needed. So the next thing I will showing you is how to delete items from my record table. So in the last video, I proposed four different kinds of deleting the items, but the most practical one is to add a button. So when I click the registry or the registries and select the delete button, all the selected registries will be removed from record table and not displayed anymore. So how can we do that? Firstly, I need to modify my view. So for example, here in primary, there is a add weapon button. So I'll create a new button and I'll put a name. I'll put a text for removing items. Remove weapon. So when I remove the weapon, I need to check some cases. For example, what if I need to remove a registry, but when I'm on the record table, there is no selected item, and then I press or I click the remove weapon. So removal is not possible because I'm not selected an item yet. So this is the first case. What I'm supposed to do when that specific situation happens. So here I need to tell what method will be executed when this click button is clicked. So here on action, I need to provide the name, the method's name. So will be removed weapon. The next thing I need to do is to go to formulary controller and implement that new method. So the first case I set was when the click button is pressed and there is no registry selected. Or what if I have an empty table, an empty record table, and I pretend to remove the item? So removal is not allowed because empty record table. So there is another case. So here I need to validate that possibility. So the first possibility is when weapons, so weapons is located on in the um, in the primary controller class. So I need to access primary controller dot weapons and is empty. So if I know that weapons is not empty, there is almost one registry on the record table, in the record table. So I can proceed to the next step. So what's next? I need to validate that a registry is selected. So here I need a variable for the index. So the length of weapons is, for example, 10 registries. And here is minus 1 to that value, from that value, because the indexes began from 0. The index began from 0. So if there is a 10 items, minus 1 will be from 0 to 9. So 10 items are stored on the record table. So here I need I need to access the the table view. So how can I access the table view? Mm, in, in primary, I have table view. So here, table view is located. The same thing with remove weapon button. So the method needs to be implemented in the primary controller, not in formulary, because in primary I have the references for table view, and that way I can access to that. So I put the method implementation here and table view. Oh, I forget something important. By default, table view is activated to select one item each time. So if I don't change the value from that parameter, the table view will not allow me to remove simultaneously items at the same time. So here on the in the initialize method, I need to provide that information, that modification, those modifications. So um, table view when table view is empty, message for telling the user no weapons registered yet is displayed. And then I need to get selected, get selection model dot set selection mode, and here selection mode dot multiple or single. These these two options are available for selecting items. So single is the default one, and multiple is what I'm interested on. So I'll select multiple. So this manner, the table view will allow me to select multiple items. And here as a parameter, I'm passing the just the subset of items that I'm interested on, that I want to delete. So by using remove all method, I pass the collection from selected items, and consequently all the items will be deleted. So once I made that, I need to refresh table view, and here the else case is when, for example, what happens if you want to remove when empty record table, so an alert of kind of type information will be displayed. So pay attention, no weapon registered yet, and you are not abide by removing from empty record table. So alert is showed, and that's all. So I'll test the method for removing weapons, and for the sake of simplicity, I'll create weapons object, seven weapons, it's fine. And I'll add all the weapons to the data structure, and finally the items will be shoved on the record table. So when I try to run this, the items are embedded successfully. And for example, if I select Glock from Germany and I want to remove the weapon, the registry is deleted as expected. But what if I want to select three random items and I want to remove them? So is it possible that? So let's see. AK-47, AWP, and USP. So remove, and That's that's the desired behavior. So when I select all the items with CTRL, for example, CTRL and A key, and remove weapon, all the weapons are removed as expected. And what if I try to delete from an empty record table? So the alert is showed as expected, and the program is working as I want it. So here the methods has been proved, has been tested, and for the sake of simplicity, I'll be deleting these items, and the the way for using the application is prepared, so a user can use the program and will not fail because I'm test I'm tested I've tested I've tested the application before deploying to the user. So it's important to test your code before you can provide the service to the customer or the client. And that's all for this video. I hope it was useful for you, and you can try a similar program as mine, but using the rest of alerts for example, for warning, for deleting an item and confirmation. Indeed, the next video will show you how to delete the items and display a confirmation alert for deleting the item. So depending on what action you are executing, the deletion is confirmed or not. So that's all for the moment, and we see you in the next video.